Hello everyone, how are you all doing? In this video, we are going to continue a topic from the chapter lenses, that is ray diagram for refraction. Now, you already know that how you have to do drawings for ray diagrams for spherical mirrors, right? And so we can obtain the images formed by lenses with the help of ray diagrams. Now, we can obtain the position, size and nature of the images with the help of these diagrams. That is what we are going to do in today's video. So, let's get started. For forming the images for making the images which are formed by convex lenses, we can use the following three rules to draw the ray diagrams of images. Followed. First rule. Now, when the incident ray, say this one, the blue one, when the incident ray is parallel, see you can see this and this are parallel to principal axis, the refracted ray means this, the pink one, the refracted ray passes through principal focus, that is F2. Followed, that is the first rule. Second, when the incident ray, here, this one, passes through the principal focus, the refracted ray will go parallel to the principal axis. Followed? Just opposite of it. Here, incident ray is parallel to the principal axis and refracted is passing through principal focus. Whereas here, the incident ray passes through the principal focus and the refracted ray passes parallel to the principal axis. Right? Third rule. When the incident ray passes through the optical center, this one, when the incident ray passes through the optical center, it will pass without changing its direction. So, it will go in straight line. So, these are the three rules for the images which are formed by using convex lenses. Followed, students? So, here we will see what kind of image is formed by a convex lens, right? Now, you see that an object AB, this is placed at point 2F1. This is the point where the object is placed. Now, the incident ray BC is starting from point B and going parallel to the principal axis. Correct? This is your principal axis. This is the incident ray which is going parallel. It will pass through the principal focus, followed the refracted ray. Now, the second ray which you consider, the ray BO, it is passing through the optical center, so it will go straight. So, one point, see this point's image will be formed here, correct? Right? So, the object will become inverted, means this will be formed here, of course. Right. So, the ray BO starting from B and passing through the optical center O of the lens goes along OS without changing its direction. So, it will intersect this ray CT at point B slash, right, B prime. Now, this means that the image of B is formed at B prime. Followed? So, it will be of course opposite. B1 is here, so A1 will be on the principal axis. Followed? As A is situated on the principal axis, its image will also be located along the principal axis vertically above B prime. Thus, A prime B prime will be the image of AB formed by the lens. We saw it here. How is the image formed? So, we learned that if an object is placed beyond 2F1, see this is 2F1. This is 2F1 and the object is beyond 2F1. The image is formed between F2 and 2F2. See, this is F2 and 2F2, right? The image is formed in between them. Why? Because the object was placed beyond 2F1. Followed? And the image which is formed is a real and inverted image, and its size is smaller than that of the object. Followed, students? Very good. Moving on to the next. Now see, if you see this particular figure, you are going to determine the position, size and nature of images which are formed for different positions of an object with the help of ray diagrams. Right? This you will do as a homework. And then check your conclusions and observations in the previous activity with those given in the table. Followed, students? So you have to do, what you will do is, you have to determine the position, size and nature of the images which are formed for different positions of object with the help of ray diagram. So you have to keep on changing the position, use the 3 rules and see where the rays will meet and at what point the image will be formed. Followed? For your reference, the images which are formed by convex lenses, it is already given in the table. You have to draw the diagrams and see. Followed? Now, images formed by concave lenses. Now, we can obtain the images by concave lenses using the following rules. First, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray, when extended backwards, passes through the focus. Okay. Second, when the incident ray passes through the focus, the refracted ray is parallel to the principal axis. The rules are little different, okay, but almost same. See here. The image which is formed by a concave lens. Now, object PQ. See here. F1 and 2F1, okay. And this is an object PQ. Okay, it is kept in front of a concave lens. Okay. Now the incident ray, that is PA, starting from point P and going parallel to the principal axis, goes along AD. See, you can see this after the refraction is done. Okay. Now if you extend this ray backwards, if I draw an imaginary line, the dotted line is the imaginary line. So I am extending this ray backward, so it appears that it is coming from F1 and not from P. See, actually the ray is coming from P, right? Then it gets refracted. Now you are standing here, so you will observe the image from the lens. So you will see that the ray is coming from F1. Followed, students? Right? Now the incident ray PO, that is starting from P again and passing through O, goes along the direction without any refraction, without getting refracted. So it will follow the same line. So PO will intersect here. Can you see? See this imaginary line and this ray, incident ray, is intersecting at one particular point, correct? Right? So at P1 it is intersecting, and that is the P1 is the image of the P. So here the image of P is formed. So Q1 will be formed here. Followed, students? As the point Q is on the principal axis, its image will be formed along the axis at the point Q1. You can see here P1, Q1, the pink arrow which is shown. Thus P1, Q1 is the image of PQ. Now the image formed by a concave lens is always virtual, erect and smaller than the object. Virtual, erect. Right? There by the convex lens it was real, but here it is virtual image. Correct? Virtual means it is appearing to us. Right? See, now the ray is not exactly coming from point F1, but you are seeing that the ray is coming from the point F1. That is why the image which you are seeing is not from there actually. It is from some other point. That is why it is called as virtual image. Correct? Whereas here, see, here what you are seeing, the ray which you are able to observe, B1 and A1, they are coming from point B only. There is no imaginary line here. So they are the real images. Followed? That's the difference between real and virtual image. Followed, students? So you can see the position of the object, and you can see the position of image, size of image, and nature of the image. Again, you have to draw the diagrams and see for each position of the object. Now here, this you have already studied in 9th standard, sign conventions, right? How you are going to, for if it is on the principal axis, how you are going to put up the sign. See, on the principal axis there is optical center O, right? On the left hand side there is first point is F1, then second principal focus will be 2F1, and here on the principal axis you will see F2 and 2F2, that is the principal focus again, F2N, right? If you are going below the principal axis, you will write the values in minus. If you are going above the principal axis, you will write in positive. Got it? Got the point, students? So these are called as Cartesian sign languages, sign conventions. One sign convention is for the convex lens, another is for the concave lens. I hope both the sign conventions are clear to you. What value you will write for each of the lens, convex as well as concave lens. Followed, students? So according to this Cartesian sign convention, the optical center is taken to be the origin. Okay. Now the principal axis is the x-axis of the frame of reference. So the sign conventions are as follows. The object is always placed on the left of the lens. Means on the left side, this side of it. Here. Okay. All distances parallel to the principal axis are measured from the optical center. Correct? The distance measured to the right of O are taken to be the positive, while those measured to the left are taken to be negative. Means if something is here, you will take it in positive, and if something is here, you will take it in negative. Followed? Distances perpendicular to the principal axis and above it are taken to be positive. Means here or above it, they are positive, and below it will be negative. Followed? Distances perpendicular to the principal axis and below it are taken to be negative. So the focal length of a convex lens is positive, while that of a concave lens is negative. See here. See, this is a convex lens, so the focal length will be in positive, whereas for the concave lens it will be in negative. Now the lens formula, right? The formula showing the relationship between distance of the object, that is given by u, the distance of the image, that is given by v, and the focal length f is called the lens formula. Now it is given by 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f. Followed? U is distance of the object, v is distance of the image, and f is the focal length. This whole is called as the lens formula. Now this formula is same for all the spherical lenses and any distance of the object from that particular lens. Now you have to use the sign conventions properly here again. Magnification. The magnification due to a lens, because the lenses are basically to magnify the image. Okay. So the magnification due to a lens is the ratio of height of the image and height of the object. Okay. So h2 upon h1, that will give you the magnification. Now The magnification is also related to the distance of the object and that of the image. So V upon U. That is also magnification. Two formula we are getting here. Equation 1 and equation 2, that m is equal to h2 upon h1 and m is equal to v upon u. Followed? The capacity of a lens to converge or diverge incident rays is called its power. How much it can converge and how much it can diverge. And also the power of a lens will depend upon its focal length. Now power will be inverse of focal length, okay, and it is expressed in, focal length is expressed in meters, right? Now see here, we are saying that power, that is P, is inverse, so it will be 1 upon focal length, inverse of focal length. This focal length is given in meter, correct? So the unit of power of a lens is given in diopter, that is D. So what will be 1 diopter? 1 diopter is equal to 1, because it is inverse, that is why 1 on the top, upon 1 meter, that will be 1 diopter. Focal length 1 meter, okay? Followed, students? That gives you 1 diopter power, right? Now combination of lenses. What will happen when you combine different lenses? Now if two lenses with focal lengths f1 and f2 are kept in contact with each other, the combination has an effective focal length, right? If we are using two lenses with focal lengths f1 and f2 and they are kept in contact with each other, so the combination will have an effective focal length. How you can find out the effective focal length? 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon f1 and 1 upon f2, correct? Because we are going to find out the power. And how is power given? Power of a lens is inverse of its focal length, right? So you have to find out like this, okay? Now if the powers of two lenses P1 and P2, then the effective power will be P is equal to P1 plus P2, right? Thus when two lenses are kept touching each other, the power of the combined lens is equal to the sum of their individual powers. Followed, students? Now the same way you can solve the examples. This is very easy. You can solve it properly now. See, an object is placed vertically at a distance of 20 centimeter from a convex lens. Vertically. So the distance of the object will become 20 centimeter and that will be in negative, okay? If the height of the object is 5 centimeter, so h1 will become 5 centimeter. And the focal length of the lens is 10 centimeter. So f becomes 10 centimeter. What will be the position, size? Position you have to find out. So image distance, right? That is v you have to find out. Size, that will be height of the image, correct? h2. And nature of the image means how much the image, what is the nature of the image? Means it is virtual or real. Then how much bigger will the image be as compared to the object? Now image is 5 centimeter because the height of the object is 5 centimeter. If the height of the image is more than that, then how much it is magnified we will come to know. Followed? Now let us start here. See, height of the object is 5 centimeter, focal length is 10 centimeter and distance of the object is minus 20 centimeter. This much we know. And we have to find out image distance, height of the image and magnification. So let us start with the formula, okay? Because two things we know, f we know and u we know, right? So v is not known to us. So we will start with this formula. 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f. Just by changing the side, so you get 1 upon u plus 1 upon f. Putting the values, you will get 1 upon minus 20 plus 1 upon 10. Just taking the LCM, you will get minus 1 plus 2 upon 20. So what you are getting, 1 upon V is equal to 1 upon 20. So V will become 20 centimeter. Followed, students? What does V become? 20 centimeter. So the positive sign of the image distance, the V is in positive, right? So because it is in positive, it shows that the image is formed at 20 centimeter on the other side of the lens, because it is not forming on the left side. If it would have been on the left, then its value would be in the negative. Since it is positive, it is on the other side of the lens. That is first thing you got, right? Another thing. Now you know V also, and you already know U. What you have to find out? H2. H1 also you know. So putting the values in the formula, you get 20 upon minus 20. See, because V we found out 20 centimeter. Correct? And U is already minus 20. And H1 is 5 centimeter. Correct? So minus 1 into 5. That will give you minus 5 centimeter. So H2 is minus 5 centimeter. So M, that is magnification, is equal to V upon U is equal to minus 1. So now you know magnification also. Now you know H2 also, and you know V also. Correct? So let us see what we can conclude from here. The negative sign of the height of the image and the magnification shows that the image is inverted and real. Why inverted? Because now it is forming below the principal axis. Then only it is in the negative. And if it is below the principal axis, right, then it is an inverted and real image. It is below the principal axis and is of the same size as the object. See, H1 was 5 centimeter, H2 is minus 5 centimeter. The difference in the sign shows that they are on the opposite sides of the lens. Followed, second. Second is how much bigger will be the image as compared to the object. Now we have to find out the focal length of a convex. Let's see the second one. So this first question is solved completely, right? Now second question. The focal length of a convex lens is 20 centimeter. So what will be its power? We know that power is inverse of focal length. So focal length is equal to 20 centimeter, right? Now we have to convert it into meters. So it will be 0.2 meters. So P is equal to 1 upon F. So it will be 1 upon 0.2. Simple calculations you do and you will get 5 diopter as the power of the lens. Very simple. Right, students? Have you followed till here with me? Right? Fine. So thank you so much, students, for watching the video. I hope all the topics till power of a lens and combination of a lens is clear to every one of you. Thank you so much, students.